I searched the earth for the finest oils, with the dream to create the finest men's fragrance in the world. After an incredible visit with master perfumer Claude Dare in the south of France and seeing the Zaharoff bottles come to life in Parma, Italy, very early the next morning, Nick and I got into our rental for the trek back to Venice. From there, Nick flew to the States, and my next stop was in search of oud, but a very particular type of oud. After a handful of planes, trains, and automobiles, I found myself in the city of Guangzhou in search for one of the most precious and expensive oils in the world, oud, also known as agar wood, garu wood, and aloes wood, found mostly in Central and Southeast Asia. It's used in Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, and Christian rituals. The Buddha taught that oud was the scent of nirvana, or attaining the scent of divinity. Samurai warriors perfumed their armor with oud smoke for good luck. Oud was Lord Krishna's favorite fragrance. King Louis XIV had his clothes and linens washed in a blend of oud and rose to give him energy. This is a very, very special, beautiful, and mystical oil. There is something about this oil that takes you to a different level spiritually. So let's start with Hong Kong. Its name meaning fragrant harbor. It is named that because it was such a major hub for agar wood. Its oil and resin was transported from Guangdong province to northern Chinese provinces. I was driven deep into the heart of Guangdong province to see this particular oud, called Aguileria sinensis. It's a sweet wood scent and considered the most expensive in the world, $100,000 for a single pound. We entered the plantation, and before me were acre after acre of garu wood trees. 1 million to be exact. It was absolutely surreal, and to witness such a sight, having come from the sandalwood plantation in Australia where the trees were lined up, harvested on an industrial level, here it was grown in the wild as it did thousands of years ago. Do you see all of this? Look at this, all of this is oud. These are agar wood. Agar wood is used today to make fragrances, herbal medications for both internal and external use, and is added to wine or liquor. It could also be carved into expensive decoration pieces at home. The morning of my visit to the plantation, I was met by a representative of the family who owns this farm. He showed me 2 vials, one with black oud and one with pure oud. The black oud had 40% water, 30% organic matter or tar, and the balance oud. As we entered the plantation, I was completely overwhelmed to see tree after tree as far as one could see. The family who runs this plantation has been doing so for generations. They welcomed me with open arms and showed me the entire process of how they make their oud. He walked me over to a tree, and with the screwdriver he whittled pieces until he got to the part where the oud was located. Once the grower deems the oud to be at its maximum, the tree is cut about 5 feet above the ground and not pulled out by its roots. The entire tree is used and nothing is wasted. The reason why this is so important to note is because unlike other agar wood plantations, this does not destroy the tree, affect the soil, or create other issues. What happens when the trunk is cut, it grows a new one, and as one cuts over the years, you start to see what they call brothers. This one is 200 years old with 8 brothers. Not only is it rare, but the number 8 is a lucky number in China.
8 is lucky number in China.
There are some trees that are over 400 years old in this plantation. Once the tree is cut, it is then stripped of its bark and cut up into 6-inch sections, including the branches. Again, nothing is wasted here. Here is when you could clearly see the raw oud oil in the tree. The wood piece that you see here, the dark middle, is where the oud is more concentrated, and as you move outward, it becomes less concentrated. These 6-inch sections are cut into slices, and then they're cut into little sticks. At this point, the wood has moisture with the oil. The sticks are left to completely dry until what remains is the wood and the oil with very little moisture. In most parts of the world, the oud sawdust is then steam distilled. And so what you have is an oud oil mixed in with other organic matter. What this does is it makes certain grades of oud more affordable since the process of filtering is expensive. And it would make oud too expensive to be used. The wood is ground up into something resembling sawdust. The dust is then placed into what is called a CO2 extraction machine. CO2 extraction is a process that uses pressurized carbon dioxide to pull the desired oud out of the sawdust plant. CO2 at certain temperatures and pressures act like a solvent without the dangers of actually being one. The end result is a separation of oud oil, any water that may have still been present, and then sawdust. Once this goes through the filtration process, what remains is incredible. 100% pure oud oil at a cost of $100,000 a pound. Everything gets used as well. There is simply no waste. The sawdust can become incense and the leaves become tea. Oud is also made into oud liquor, bracelets, art pieces, and other items. Hi there! Did you subscribe? Did you hit the like button? Did you hit that little bell? Did you do it now? How about now? Now? That's crazy.
It's funny.